put a timer for like 30 minutes?
Yes.
She's good, okay.
Don't worry. Yeah. That, and then turn off. Don't worry about it.
Okay. 15-3, 15-15.
One minute. Start live. Okay. My favorite.
Yeah. It's actually gonna be louder in here too than the CCC. Those are quiet. Oh, this is gonna be stressful. I don't know how to do this. Score 1. You know when I'll be here to watch some basketball is the morning practice. Yeah. I thought it was Sunday till yesterday. I was like, wait, it's Saturday? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay.
At least glad it's today.
I know. I was kind of mad because I was like, fuck. Gotta get up early for Monday. I want to watch the B Bears play. With Keaton. Oh yeah, okay. No one freaking touch me. Did you come in early this morning or did you stay the night?
I stayed over at the Daymont DuPont in Fort Wayne. But I didn't want to have to stay, but given the time, I was like, I could get up at 4:30,
Yeah, it's
or I
like
could
from
sit.
Michigan, right? It's like a couple hours.
Yeah, basically from Kalamazoo.
Yeah, no, 8 a.m.'s a little too
Right.
early.
Absolutely not, to be honest. The ref takes it all up, right? Kinda, yeah. It's that off-field kind of thing.
I don't know.
Less close than
Yeah. They feel like crap, right?
yeah, they've been.
Yeah, you're the host the whole time. Yep. Thanks. Start, stop, and the whistle.
You happen to have the Wi-Fi on that game? You could try that. Try the not advertisement one for them. Flex is available too. Since you guys are hosting again, the next night. All right, and you got my new login text?
It's like more than expected, guys.
All right, hey,
Go ahead.
All right, you're supposed to be a stats person over here.
She's behind us.
yeah, Shay's in.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
No, she's showing you the whole. She can see the whole game.
She's gonna have to watch the live feed just to keep stats.
Yeah.
Practically, I know. Why is it forced out?
He did it. I don't know how to fix it.
Minimize broadcasting.
Oh, I said that. Open the doors to the wine cooler.
And you'll notice in this feed too, guys, because we're recording all of this stuff on YouTube. That's fine.
We're even playing for right now. We're trying to.
And it's not every day that we get to say this in sports, folks. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us one final time for the 2026 WMLIS season. We are scheduled and just behind track for an 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time kickoff here from the Plex North in Fort Wayne for the very first time. We will host a Women's Major League indoor soccer match here at the Plex. You've chosen a fantastic, albeit early morning to join us. I'm Tanner White, and once more, you're looking live at the Plex North in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The final match of the season in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, live on MLIS Pro TV. The home side, the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels, are still fighting for their playoff lives. They had to get at least 1 point last Sunday versus the very same opponent, the Chicago Mustangs, and they did so. That match was the first in the history of the league to go all the way through overtime and into a shootout, earning them that all-important point to force this final match. Fort Wayne's third in the WMLIS's Eastern Conference, and therein lies the issue. The top two teams from each conference will head to Las Vegas on the final weekend of March for finals weekend. The New Jersey Angels Football Club are currently the second seed as we kick this one off. But New Jersey's already wrapped up their 10-match regular season with a 6-4 record. If Fort Wayne equals New Jersey in points, which they would do with an overtime or a shootout win today, then they'll lose out on the postseason due to the head-to-head tiebreaker, which New Jersey holds over them after a 7-6 win on Sunday, February 22nd. The Sentinels' one option to get to Vegas is a regulation win today. On the other side, the Chicago Mustangs, they have a chance to wrap up back-to-back undefeated regular seasons here in U2 of the WMLIS. They still have never lost, and we've nearly wrapped up the 2 full seasons. It's easy to get overly comfortable in this kind of situation, but they've never relaxed in their pursuit of perfection so far. Both these clubs were inaugural members during last season's debut season, and, well, of course, that means Chicago owns the all-time series because this team has never lost. Mustangs were led by the fearless Elizabeth Sampras in goal last season, all the way to that undefeated record and that inaugural championship. Got a whistle and a first foul coming. Appears to be on for Jennifer Reyes for the Sentinels. Foul at 14:05 of the first quarter. So, Sampras last year, and then this year, it's really been a goalkeeper by committee approach, and everyone's been ultra effective. Evelyn Flores, Leslie Ordonez, and Joanna Mercado have all won games as starting keepers, with Mercado registering 5 of those wins. And the team's 32 goals allowed in 9 games this season. That's second fewest overall. First shot saved by Carmen Swigard, and goal for the Sentinels. All right, good time to tell you about these 2 goalkeepers. It's Honey Days Cruz in for the Mustangs. She'll have the neon kit, and the blue for Fort Wayne is the league leader in saves this season with 147, topping Kalamazoo's Soleil Ty Baker coming into play by 7. And of course, this is the final match, so she'll add some gravy on top of there. She was the reigning goalkeeper of the year and the first team all WMLIS selection as a goalkeeper last season. Cross in front of the goal mouth here, and the defensive clearance by Chicago's Yayas Macias. Ball should go to the top of the arc if we're seeing what we thought we did. Yes, we are. Our on-field official there, Casey Gregory's going to put this down. And Fort Wayne's 21, Layla Mojtahedi, will step up. Mojtahedi set piece. Taps over to her right. Lissa Weisman, too high. But it does give us a little bit of an opportunity to set the lineups for you beyond the goalkeepers. Again, Carmen Swigard and HD Honey Days Cruz wearing 1 and 0 respectively. Rest of the Fort Wayne field players to start this one looked like this. Defensively, Layla Mojtahedi and Alexandra Rodas-Nichols. For the midfield, Ariana Solsfuss and Jen Reyes. And their top forward, Alyssa Weisman. For Chicago, Stephanie Freund, the defending Defensive Player of the Year, and Stephanie Nunez, the defending MVP, wearing 28 and 17. 21, Yayas Macias, already told you about her. Then 32, Fernanda Soto, and 12, Shannon Walter, their player coach. And on the bench, it's Alex Pavone for Chicago and Hope Castillo for the Sentinels. No score, nothing doing really on either side so far in the first couple of minutes of this match. Coming to you live once more from the Plex North here in Fort Wayne. Jennifer Reyes, identifiable by that headband. Here's 15, Jessica Mursky onto the interception. Mursky stuffed it right into Alexandra Rodas-Nichols.
Hey, she just got elbowed in the face.
Swigard sending it all the way down the other way. Fort Wayne side's 5 and 4 overall. That last shootout loss is recorded officially as an 8-7 game, although surrendering just the 7 goals in regulation plus overtime. And in that game as well, Carmen Swigard registering 33 saves for the all-time single-game record here in the WMLIS. Swigard blowing by the previous record of 29 set by Kalamazoo's Jordan Hartman last season. HD Cruz will flop on this after a soft touch from Natalia Lima for Fort Wayne. Lima comes in the leading scorer for this club with 11 of them on the season. Lena Thomas for Kalamazoo is second with 10. And then Vivian Permanen, a relative newcomer who's played just 4 matches with this team, has 6 of them. Lima in a tough battle there with 28, Stephanie Freund. Once more, your reigning Defensive Player of the Year on the Chicago side. Lena Thomas does lead this club in points as she has picked up 7 assists on the season as well. Shot wide of the goal mouth where Swigard awaited. Whistle foul on the Sentinels' Lena Thomas at 10:46 of this quarter. Still no score. 10 minutes now, 40 seconds to play. Swigard, the keeper, over for her left for Brenna Buert. Buert wearing 99. Fort Wayne side in the purple and white kit. It's got the vertical purple and white stripes to it. And then Chicago, they've got the blacks with the hints of purple and neons. Buert watching this, and the keeper Swigard says, hey, 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 I got this. Still nothing to speak of on the stat sheet. Cruz sending it all the way down once again, bounding all the way to the Fort Wayne keeper. We got under 10 minutes to play here for the first quarter. Your score is zilch all, not a whole lot happening. Natalia Lima wrapping one around the boards. Cruz falls on it in time. So many all-time leaders throughout the league in this one. Soto made maybe some contact with keeper Swigard, but she pops up unscathed. There's been a couple of injury scares for Swigard on the season, one of which actually forced her out of a game that was back on Sunday, March 8th against Kalamazoo. Would end up playing less than 20 minutes in that one, and the reserve keeper, Alicia Burns, putting on a fantastic performance to spell her. And then the other one on last Saturday in Chicago. Such a difficult stretch of their schedule to finish it out, as this Fort Wayne side knew that they had to play 3 games in a row, all with Chicago, if this last one should become necessary. And then when they got that 1 point on Sunday with the shootout, they knew it would be. First shot for Permanent is blocked. Permanent coming up empty. And that's only the second shot on goal registered. You got 1 now on each side, we believe. Eliana Summer up for Kim Ortega. Ortega collects in the midfield. A 32-year-old Fort Wayne native. Down for Lima. As we run under 8 minutes with this clock, we should have our media timeout coming at the next ball out of play. Lena Thomas, shot just wide. Thomas with airspace had plenty of room. Just pulled it a little bit left of the goalkeeper, H.D. Cruz. Got the horn going off on the field next to us. Don't worry, that's not over here. Nunez on the run. Shot wide. And a newcomer for Chicago inserted into the lineup today, 77, Cassie Rodriguez. Actually ended that off. Weissman is maybe checked a little bit as the shot comes off of her foot, and no further damage as it's off target. Weissman lurks for a moment to try and pressure. Now 13, Ariana Stoltzfus coming up as well. Ortega, interception. She'll turn it over for Stoltzfus. And now Fort Wayne will play back in the defensive half for a moment. Swigard sent a ball long in the area of Ortega. Now Stoltzfus is tangled up there with Cassie Rodriguez, and everybody breaks up the pile, no harm. Mursky with the little back touch, and once more all the way back to the keeper, Cruz. Stoltzfus looking to turn. She'll go back for Ali Rodas Nichols. You heard our on-field official there, Casey Gregory, start that count. You get the 4 count with the goalkeeper anytime that you are before that midfield and you're in your own defensive end. A 4 count to get it off of your foot. Again, we got the media timeout coming whenever we do get this stoppage of play. We got 6 minutes and 24 seconds of the first quarter. It's just been so tight between everybody that haven't seen any stoppages at all and no defensive clearances, save the one real early on. Nunez, your defending MVP, out for Shannon Walter. Mo Shahady snuffed it out. Soto and Stoltzfus down in that corner. And should be the foul on Soto. 5 minutes and 59 seconds. And we're still not going to quite have this media timeout come yet. Well, we hope the wait is worth it. For what it's worth, it would stop on a goal, and we would get that media timeout coming. That'll be what it'll be sometimes. That foul on Soto. Soto holds kind of an unfortunate distinction of the only 2 red cards in the history of Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, both for time penalty accumulations, though. You're not talking about straight reds. You're not talking about, severe unsportsmanlikes and violence and that kind of things. It's just accumulating cards in other ways, and you get any 3 of them within a game, whether that be blues or yellows in any kind of combination, you get tossed. Walter sending that way down. Finally, we get a restart. Everybody's looking around and saying, yep, finally, I think we can take this to the media timeout. Well, it was worth the wait. Comes at 5 minutes and 20 seconds of the first quarter. Once more, you're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. Back in a few out of the timeout.
You have to put in 0, 5.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to study. So time for timeout. I don't think I time for not for just the time for not not how much I didn't even probably get to chance in that. And there's hardly any.
I know it's hard. Sometimes I'm finding the numbers of like.
Let's see, there's worse numbers than.
They're in the way of chasing me.
And we head back out of the media timeout. Once more, coming to you live from the Plex North here in Fort Wayne. Chicago Mustangs taking on the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels in the final match. Match number 40 of the regular season. Here for Season 2 of Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. Fort Wayne needing a regulation win to get all the way to Vegas. Here's Fernanda Soto's interception. Soto on a solo run, blocked. That's fantastic from Brenna Boert. Boert is getting mugged by Nunez. Nunez unable to take it away, though, for Chicago. Wow. Boert really just jumping off the page with that. Summer feeding it down for Lima. Lima is just so physically talented. You see it jump off the page at almost every single match. That shot a little bit high. Next one, woodwork for Lima. The last shot was Summer. And then Lima, with a couple of inches high, is just exasperated like Kitty. Swigard, the keeper, again, sending it down long. Has registered 4 assists on the season. And this appears to be another defensive clearance call coming. Yeyas Macias had to make a business decision. Macias, 22 years of age, a McHenry, Illinois native. Stoltzfus from Reyes, slowly back to her. Lima, a chip. Stoltzfus trying to maybe put on a little bit of pressure, but I think Fort Wayne's thinking, man, if only we had somebody lurking there in the box. Now this is danger. They caught him on the change. Here's for Mariela Villalba just checking in for Chicago. She's able to stop what could have been kind of a defensive disaster of a breakdown. Chicago, as they do possess now with Mariela Villalba took the time to make a change. 11, Kaylee Castellanos coming back on along with 77, Cassandra Rodriguez. Castellanos was a key contributor of that championship team last season. That team also went undefeated, just like Chicago's known to do. That's the standard that they've set as they went all the way through first season without a single loss. Lena Thomas, long run, Rodriguez. Lima slipped. Oh, and the Turf Monster caught her. 3 minutes and change to play for the first quarter, still scoreless. Thomas is mugged. You wonder, is this going to be the first card? We got a blue card out. Let's see how it sorts out. Our referees will come over and demonstratively show it to us, and we're going to hear exactly what it's for in a moment. Reckless tackle, we're hearing. If it's 9, that's Jaden Trometer. We're still trying to sort that out over on the bench area. Buert shot save. Anyway, Fort Wayne power play. That's a big takeaway from this. A chance to go up first. Buert blocked by Stephanie Freund, your defending defensive player of the year. The keeper, Carmen Swigard, has got to retreat quite a ways to pick this up. Swigard with a blue kit. She's got the long blue socks, that is, black shorts. Buert blocked once more. We're hearing that this is going to be released at just inside of 1 minute. We didn't catch the exact timestamp. Still, Fort Wayne power play after the reckless tackle is assessed to another newcomer on the Chicago lineup for today, Jaden Trometer. Permanent skyscraper, it's high. We're hearing Trometer at 2:57. So that means this penalty would be released at 57 seconds. That means there's 1 minute of power play time left for Fort Wayne. Rodas Nichols up to her right. Summer to just feed it in the box. Thomas, permanent, a shot block too. There's some opportunities to be had, but maybe there's not enough Sentinels lurking within the box yet. Swigard with the time running lower on that power play. Summer for permanent, blocked once more to Soto.
At one, I think. Yeah, she said at one, so everyone gets.
Permanent to Rodas Nichols. Back for permanent. Wow, and it looks like Kaylee Kowal with one fantastic defensive clearance is going to give these Mustangs a really good chance to burn off this entire penalty. It's funny, they've been only at 70% killing penalties on the season. The keeper Cruz departing her area by just a little bit. All right, our referees said that penalty is now released. Stephanie Nunez is back on full strength for the Chicago side. They survived that very first of the blue cards. Lena Thomas rejected. Thomas right into the body of Yayas Macias. And Nunez, wow, it's Nunez and nobody else. Nunez doesn't need a supporting cast sometimes. Eventually, Swigard is there to cut it off. Stephanie Nunez, your all-time leading scorer here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer with 29 of them. Nunez, a hat trick in every regular season match last year. Unreal. And tacked on a couple more in the inaugural final last year from Cleveland State University in the Wolstein Center. Shot saved. Swigard on Nunez. Under 10 seconds. The keeper, Cruz, looks to keep a clean sheet for a whole first quarter, as does Carmen Swigard. Folks, it is clear. Everybody knows what this match means. The Chicago side already knows they're heading to Las Vegas, but this Fort Wayne side fighting for their lives as it's a 0-0 contest through one quarter. We'll be back here for quarter number 2. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV.
looking like watching today. Talia had one that was on the red. Everything else is pretty outside or above the net. He was not.
That's just how the penalty is bad for this time. Because sometimes, like, let's say you get like a human player, that
Oh, really? Outside. That makes sense.
And we make a triumphant return here for quarter number 2. Tanner White coming at you here on MLIS Pro TV. Fort Wayne and Chicago, everybody knows what they're playing for. Chicago, well, they've been into Las Vegas for quite a while. The only thing that they might say is, okay, we want to go in with some momentum and we want to feel that we're playing our best heading into that tournament. The good news is you have no room for rest because you've just played a doubleheader last weekend. You're coming back out playing this weekend. Waiting for that timer to run down on the 3 minutes between quarters. Here's a perfect time to tell you a little bit more about the clock. So, 15-minute quarters and 3 minutes between each here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. As you might imagine, the clock starts and stops on the whistles for those of you newer to the indoor game. And that whistle means it's time for quarter number 2. Alyssa Wiesman kicking off for Fort Wayne's Layla Mojahedi. Mojahedi, the youngest player out on that field for Fort Wayne, 19 years of age, calls Fort Wayne home. The U.S. youth futsal team, a 4-time national team goalie and a 3-time captain over there. So there's a chance that should Fort Wayne ever need a reserve keeper, we've seen Mojahedi do it this season. There's a chance that we do see her in goal at some point. Kaylee Kowal stuffed. Kowal right off of that foot of Ali Rodas Nichols. Kowal getting it back and getting packed once more. 9, Jaden Trometer got the 1 blue card on that Chicago side just under 3 minutes of the first quarter, but they were able to survive it. Villalva right on target, save for Swigard. Mariela Villalva. It's funny, you talk to the Chicago side and everybody says, hey, who do you think is going to really surprise people or impress people in the postseason? Everybody's saying Mariela Villalva. They said, you know, she's actually one of the smartest soccer players we've ever seen, and she's just always in the right spot. Villalva, 27 years of age for Chicago, a defender who's really been more and more important in the rotation as this season's gone on. A 27-year-old Hanover Park native. Chicago's missing a lot of their regulars, and we see the impact of logistics this season. It's not a secret. Freund, off of the cross from Soto, just couldn't put up a shot. She may rue it. Shannon Walter, captain, player, coach, you name it, does a little of everything. Walter's going to check off now. And the Chicago substitution comes on, 15, Jessica Mursky. Mursky over for Nunez. Nunez lifted this way up and out of here. Mojahedi carried it up and now is looking to probably go backwards. Stoltzfus collects for Fort Wayne. Ariana Stoltzfus, the 25-year-old Goshen, Indiana native. Probably almost an hour from home, one speculates. You know, everything's kind of an hour in Indiana. This state will just do that. Soto, little mistouch at first. Now Reyes and Mojtahedi there to knock it away from her. Freund just slid and sent it back down in the other end as it looked like Lima could have been on for a breakaway the other way. Lima, the top forward right now for Fort Wayne. Pushing this. Cruz will dive on it. Cruz up quickly to distribute, but Brenna Board is going to intercept that easily. So it's not going to make the clearance any easier for Chicago. Lima back for Eliana Summers. Still no score. Quarter number 2. We've got 11 minutes and 55 seconds to play. Stoltzfus. And again, that goalkeeper, HD Cruz, is any thoughts of letting these shots roll around? Nunez just gave that possession up, kind of put it right in the lap of Jennifer Reyes, and Reyes will say thank you. Lima will make another long run. She's on her own. Lima is practically 3-on-1 here. Finally gets some support from Stoltzfus. Eventually crosses for Reyes wide.
Let's get it back.
Swigard, the keeper, beyond the half. Swigard up for Buert. Stoltzfus handling. She'll have to go all the way back for the goalkeeper. Maybe the one thing that Swigard hasn't done in this league is score a goal yet. Tried to speak it into existence. Has 4 assists on the season, however, including 2 in the last match between these two teams on Sunday. That shootout contest that Chicago would be awarded the 8-7 win for. But again, it went a full 70 minutes, as you've got the 60 minutes of regulation and then 10-minute overtime, with just the 7 goals allowed for Swigard against the top scoring team here in the East Conference. Wrapped around the boards, Summers shuts down that chance for Nunez. Then Nunez probably got away with a little bit of a tug maybe on Summers' jersey. Stephanie Freund, your defending defensive player of the year. It's an embarrassment of riches for Chicago. It is when they're fully loaded and healthy and all that, but this is just not that. Macias save. Swigard. Macias heading back down the pitch with it. Pardon us, Soto. Got an open Villalba, rejected. Carmen Swigard's heating up. She's turning on that same kind of form that you saw just 6 days ago, where she would set the single game record here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer with 33 saves. A Chicago lineup that had all of their regulars. Natalia Lima in for Reyes. Reyes got tons of room. Thomas is follow. She scored. Oh no. Oh no, it came off the woodwork. Oh, everybody take a moment, recoil, and catch your breath. Wow. Now Reyes tried to poke it in again and no dice. We just assumed that that ball was spending so much time on the goal line, and there's such a mass of bodies. It's going to tap in, whether it's off of an attacking or defending player. Oh, boy. That's one of the best scoring chances that we've ever seen not result in the goal in nearly an entire 2 years in this league. Wow. It's off the head of Weisman. 8 minutes and 35 seconds, second quarter. We're nearing the second media timeout, and we've still got no score on the board. Corner kick is coming for Fort Wayne in a moment. Chicago tried to call a timeout. They just couldn't get it quite on time and didn't have the possession yet to be able to do it. Summers stuffed there at first by Mursky. Weisman got away with a little bit of a high sticking there. Brenna Buert collects this. Buert. She's going to have to cut off Nunez. Nunez is so dangerous with either foot. Nunez tucks it in. It's your all-time leading scorer Doing what she does best. Stephanie Nunez with goal number 30 of the career here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. And we should now have the timeout assessed to Chicago as well. It comes right before the media timeout. 8 minutes and 10 seconds. But we will take it to the break. 1-0 Chicago off the foot of Stephanie Nunez.
Nico, did you have an assist? Nico, did you have an assist? Was there an assist? Okay. No assist, just need that.
Shit. It's so bad.
Look at the time as well. Make sure it's
Help. How do you make a goal? Like a
8:10.
shot. Yeah, I
Yep,
got
and that's it. That's all you got. You guys score more than they take.
I just saw the word goal and I was like, it's probably.
All right, folks, we're back out of the Chicago timeout. We got the first score of the ball game, and it's Stephanie Nunez. I feel like we've said that one before. Nunez, not only your all-time leading goal scorer, she's also got 3 game-winning goals on this season, and as you might imagine, also has the all-time record for game-winning goals. That's just kind of what she does. Points to, I mean, you name it. That's 45 total points on the career for Nunez. And she's been telling us that, yeah, she's kind of frustrated by her lack of goal-scoring output overall. And now Wiesman might be whistled for her contact against the keeper there, Cruz. And she is. Foul on Alyssa Wiesman at 7:52 the second quarter. Nunez, and it's one of those things. She's been dealing with a foot issue for the better part of both seasons. Villalba over Swigart, kaboom! Oh, and it's 2-0 Chicago. They're playing knockout now. Mariela Villalba. Bienvenidos y buenos dias. Villalba at 7:39 second quarter, and we'll take it to the media timeout. Chicago 2-0 over Fort Wayne.
Two. 32 on Black has 2.
Output's buffering a little bit here.
Okay, so you wasted time.
I don't still have it open. It was like 40 and 40. I know it was good. I just want to say it. Yeah, yeah. Well, we can troubleshoot at halftime too. Okay.
And we come back out of that second media timeout. If we are experiencing some technical difficulties, some delays, some dropped frames, we apologize, but we will continue to do our best. Coming to you live from a brand new location here for the WMLIS, the Plex North here in Fort Wayne. It's 2-0 Chicago. Mariela Villalba and Stephanie Nunez have scored within less than a minute of each other. Villalba from 18, Kaylee Kowal. In fact, we're told that those are just 32 seconds apart or so. Wow, that is a huge blitz for Chicago to put on when they are really, really trying to knock out Fort Wayne. That's what's on the line. The Sentinels, if they can win this one in regulation, they will head to Las Vegas. Anything else, any other result today, and not so. They'll be going home. Lima Tossed down by Yeyas Macias, and now Stephanie Nunez has got tons of options, and that's never a good thing for the other side. Over for Mirsky. And Mojtahedi with a body block on Soto. Nunez, will she go for the blow-by of Reyes? That's been a really tough assignment for anybody. Reyes leading the WMLIS all-time and this season in block shots with 23 and 25. That's, of course, 23 for this season, 25 all-time. Mojtahedi, back touch for the keeper Swigard. Sent down where Lima's kind of the only one with a chance for Fort Wayne to get a foot on it. Lima and Soto. Now Lima and Freund. Just a little bit wide of Reyes. Stoltzfus losing a handle. Now Reyes will have to beat feet and try to cut off this clear. Now Reyes whistled for a second foul here in the half. Reyes fouling Mirsky. And everybody taking the time for the guaranteed substitutions. Probably in everyone's best interest now. Clock shows just under 5.5 minutes to play. Here for the second quarter, 2-0 Chicago. Again, we want to apologize on our quality here. As she's heading to the deck, Thomas scores! Thomas from Permanent, trimming the lead by 1. At 5 minutes and 12 seconds, second quarter. Home side on the board. There's talks that they might want this as their home field for next season. It was previously Classic City Center in Waterloo. Much more downtown in Fort Wayne here. And this place is starting to feel like home as the crowd begins to file in a little bit more. You know, maybe some for the first few minutes there of the first quarter or even into the second quarter. We're still filing in and still finding parking spots and things. But now, beginning to feel like a home match in their first time out here at the Plex. Shot just a little bit high. It's 2-1. As we mentioned, that last Sentinels score was Lena Thomas from Vivian Permanent. We're telling you, every single touch that Permanent has gotten recently has just been impactful. Cruz gets that top cheddar save and then nearly stepped onto the goal line with that ball in her hands. You got to be careful of that. Lena Thomas from Vivian Permanent at the 5:12 mark of the second quarter. That's Thomas's 11th on the season, tying for the team lead. Weisman. And now the keeper Cruz, if she's able to keep this under the level of the boards, that is fantastically done. She might create a scoring chance the other way with Nunez. Wow. If that ball at any point touches the net as it's traveling all the way down that pitch, as Nunez nutmegs the keeper! Stephanie Nunez. Dread it, run from it, and Stephanie arrives all the same. Wow. Nunez is pressured by Summer the whole way. Buert even comes and gives some help. And it's just another one of those left-footed strikes that is, it's just heat-seeking. It's insane. Nunez with 2 out of the first 3 for Chicago. We are seeing that the keeper, Honey Days Cruz, got the assist. We wondered if she would. We thought, well, it did appear that the last pass was from her. Nunez did a lot of the rest. Now here it's Soto. Soto with an already 3-1 match. Soto, she's got space to her left. Also, an interesting development in this one is we did see a couple of minutes ago Shannon Walter head over to the trainer and said, hey, can you tape my ankle up? And we haven't seen Walter return. That was maybe 5 or 6 minutes into this match, so it's been a while. Not even to this quarter, but the match in general. Soto and Permanen. Permanen using the body and backing up against the wall as another defender, essentially. 7 shots on each side. Your goalkeepers, Carmen Swigard, the defending goalkeeper of the year here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, and Honey Days Cruz. Cruz topped this. That's going to make it tough for her. She saves the shot from Thomas. Never mind. Maybe it's not going to make it tough at all. Maybe the greatest keepers challenge themselves. Nunez, as Swigard got a piece. And now Villalba, the takeaway, blocked. Mojtahedi and Ortega collapsed because Swigard, after already diving to get a piece of that last shot, was out of position. Now Soto's down 2. Oh no, we might have to get the injury stoppage here. Oh boy. But Rodas Nichols has a run on. The cross, the score! Ortega! And Soto's still down 2. We got to think that the injury stoppage is coming now. Oh no. Fernanda Soto, she's still down. 1 minute and 45 seconds for the half, and a lot to sort out here. Let's just let the camera and the microphone run for a moment. As Soto a moment to recover too. All right, so everybody take a breath. Fort Wayne trims the lead. Kim Ortega from Alexandra Rodas Nichols. It's Ortega's second on the season. It's a huge spot to get it with 1 minute and 45 to play until halftime. Kaylee Castellanos is on here for the injured Carol Fernanda Soto. It was really unfortunate for Chicago to be down a player during that run that you could tell, well, this is going to cost them, and it did. You could kind of see that one unfolding. Castellanos has a ton of room. Wow, kind of ended up being no other option for Carmen Swigard, the keeper, but to put this out and go with the defensive clearance. Got to be a little bit frustrating for Swigard. This Chicago side has devastating set plays. Many of them, however, feature Kelly Collins. Collins is actually their leading scorer on the season with 17 and was unable to make the trip today. Nunez! Looked like it glanced off of Ortega. Stephanie Nunez with 2 of the 3 scores, kind of maybe feeling a little bit back to, you don't want to say 100% because it's unlikely that anybody through this full 10-game regular season here for season 2 is feeling 100% by this point, especially somebody who's played as many minutes and has taken as many shots and things as Nunez has. But she's starting to look at least similar to what she expects of herself, has tremendously high expectations of herself, and that's why she says that she's been a little bit frustrated by her lower goal scoring output than last season. But that pace that she set from last season, 21 goals in 6 regular season matches, was kind of impossible to match, one would think. And that's proven to be the case here in year number 2 of the WMLIS. Mackenzie Evans Tostado of the Salt Lake City, Utah Uprising Football Club with 20 goals total in 10 matches to lead the league this season. Kowal off the back of the defender Stoltzfus. Fort Wayne side has about 20 seconds if they're going to get the equalizer for the half. Lima would have probably had to do it right there. That ball whizzing by that Chicago bench. Coach Alex Pavone came out and had words with our whole referee crew right after that goal was scored from Fort Wayne. And again, Soto came off. We're looking around the bench area wondering what happened to her. We'll try and pick up on that at half. Couple of seconds. And Villalba or Kowal didn't quite know it. Nonetheless, we're going to take it to the half. We've had a couple of brief interruptions. We've had issues with the quality. We have, a tight setup back here. We got injuries. We got this, that, and the other thing. Folks, we're still playing. That's our biggest takeaway is that we have 30 more minutes or so, at least 30 more minutes for regulation here for the 2026 season here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. 3-2 Chicago at the half. When we come back, 30 more minutes for regulation to play. Fort Wayne needing a regulation win in this one to get to Las Vegas. Chips are on the line, and we'll be back for quarter number 2 in about 15 minutes time. I'm Tanner White. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV.
Yeah, it's just pushing. I mean, the connection. It's pushing out between just bouncing all over the place. um, yeah. Yeah. We're gonna go all the way across the wall. It takes everybody along to get into the flow for sure. That was totally my fault. So what I do is I ask for the rosters like the day before, but the rosters Chicago sent me had 16 players on it and not all the same ones on the rest, which isn't I understand it's part of the ACC, but it's just not part of the stuff. It's don't you know you really traveling with you and have a couple days before I think? Yeah. Um, so and then I also just that's a That's a little mini keyboard. Okay. Yeah. Look at that's something very shaped for like a member pad. That's kind of a weird deal. It's just a 12 random, buttons you assign. Oh, okay, okay. And I think I have a similar phone mount to your phone mount that you use right there. Excellent. That's pretty setup, huh? It's been a couple iterations. Yeah. This, I'm shooting 3 restaurants in Angola, and then I'm shooting hockey tonight. Oh, seriously? It's gonna be such a busy day. the gold diggers and the rockets.
Rockets.
They're like teal. It was their big chance to have a red jersey and be the Red Rockets, but now they got to be
No,
the
we-
Teal Rockets.
What's their mascot?
The Rockets. Yeah, I think they played. We played in East.
Perfect. I was like, this will look, this will look as good, but I'm sure it'll work. So I put the Scarface one out. It got 5,000 and a half. I was about 8 or 9,000. It kind of faded out now. Um, but Sunday night at the Comets game, no goalie on the puck was face mask. It actually was wearing the face mask of the goalie from the puck. And it's not my shot, but I'm gonna post it all over today. But man, it's even as it is sick. Um, yeah, I thought some of you guys wore throwbacks. Some of you guys were boys backs. Thought the last game was baseball offensively. Up to single play 2 Saturdays ago. Uh, we'll do the thing every year. Me and the guy after just stopped. We made a high five. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Yeah.
Oh, man, that's like what's happening.
It is. It is. What's funny though is like if you do like a basement or in the stairs, then you do like a basement and they're just tired and a little older. And I'm like, and the other one I'm like, "Ta, ta, 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 ta." And then I end up on the wall and it's like I had this on a monopod when I'm over there. So I can just spin back and forth and not really check it out. But this is too fast. This is fast. When we get close, I just pull the .5 gun out. I'm like, ooh, sure. Yeah, I was thinking about 10 feet or so off the side because it's got a single thing off the focus. Like, hold it up and kind of spray it right over the net. I didn't know there was any reason to play more beer games, but so far they play. Yeah. Okay. I know there's a little Odyssey for every 1 year old. I just want a freedom. Like Plex. Yeah, yeah. A little Odyssey with different games. It's about we grew up like it's been a month and a half since we started playing last. Um, side to side, like short ways, and taking classic styles. So when I post it, first on the game, someone texted me first thing they're like, yeah, it was the first time I ever saw actually a hockey player with like and it was 3 kids that are that age and they skate 4 puck control. These are not boats. So this one little dude was skiing along and he looks up to see where the goalie is and he looks down and the puck's going under. And the next thing you see it goes right between the goalie's legs and he looked at it through his legs. And then the next one up, there's a dude that smashes into his bucket and it's 3-on-1 for a minute. And it's just like, yeah, yeah, it was a real game. There's one little girl, she's way faster than her. She's gonna do something really cool. Um, and her one zone, she pumps up and she gets down on one knee and slides for about 30 yards.
Hey Jay.
You get a picture of you on the.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, cool.
I did.
Ooh, who's that on?
That's
Oh
the
my.
that's the distiller. They're shooting something later tonight.
Cool. Thanks, man.
And then BJ Lemieux.
That's great.
Like he's one of the enforcers, so he's like one of the dudes that will fight for even if it's not his
Internet
fight.
sucks
Go,
here. I'm trying
Oh,
to.
it's
go
all
put his 6 cents in.
We keep knocking down the quality to get something that's
Scored the winning overtime
oh,
goal.
bummer.
well,
He's on the opposite side.
hopefully it's better.
Just kicking off, or is it just?
No, I think it's just not we're not able to push a decent enough quality. So I've been texting with him, so we're just gonna drop the quality, so hopefully it's smoother.
Yeah.
Right now it's a little jittery.
Yeah. So it might not be as clear, but who cares? At least it's.
That's the idea.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Yeah. It'll be unclearly smooth.
Yeah.
And he flipped over and he came all the way past. I was in the rest. He just had to get enough speed up and then just flip over and then he just slid on his helmet. Oh, there we go. Girls down in San Jose. That was Parker's last stop. He got called up from the distillers to which is in South Carolina. They're blue and white. Parker Rutherford. But that was his last. That was his last like game with distillers.
Parker's good. He's a good goalie and a really good player.
Oh. So that is Zach Mosher from they were the mobsters still at that point. And they're the swarm now. They changed colors, logos, everything. Well, the guy that owned the team owned the league, and there was some trouble with that because he could make the rules to make it work for him. So he ended up getting a fight with Amy, which is number 10. He's 19. He's out of Iowa. And, I was around the blue line, and Allie, the other shooter, she was right in front of the goal for the opposite goalie. So she gets weird. And Mosher wrote her. He was like, "Hey, did you get any shots of my fight?" And she was like, "No, but contact this dude." He writes me, and I'm like, "I have 53 photos of your 22nd fight. Tell me what you need. Let me get some." Couldn't figure out how I was going to send it to him.
We just dialed back the quality.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I know it's nice. I was like,
I know that's what he
there's
sends.
some lower quality, but maybe that's better.
It's like
This turns back to green, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's saying you drop the frame. So. The audio actually, I pulled it up, even though a little copy, the audio still sounded good and all that. But yeah,
I mean, that's my full-time job. Work's my full-time job.
Okay.
It's 2 months old. Last Sunday's game. Last Sunday's game, I just posted last night.
You're just too good, bro.
I just need
But I usually do.
myself.
Yeah, I got friends in the restaurant. I take pictures of what I ate, what the menu looks like, my building. Oh, I mean, that's a little bit. It pays my mortgage, it pays my bills, and I quit my full-time job for it.
yeah, I've been watching some of these. I like your Costco one recently. It was like $5 for this. Oh, it's Samsung. Okay, I think you're like.
Where and what when I can get a latte on a plate with like actual avocado? Because I've been chasing it for years. I got it once at Noblesville.
If you were gonna try it, I think I would go to this little spot. You know where like
Mine will be on this side over here.
Sorry. She got distracted.
Just see me try to turn off.
Yeah, I was so distracted. I didn't even hear it go off, honestly.
All good. And we are back for the second half. Welcome back inside the Plex North here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm Tanner White, and you're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. Season finale, folks. We've known for a while that this match was possible, and then on Sunday, last Sunday, we knew that it was necessary. Fort Wayne has to win in regulation in this one, and they're down 3-2 at the half. The New Jersey Angels Football Club, 2 points ahead of them in the standings. Remember, for this season, Women's Major League Indoor Soccer switched to that 3-2-1 point system. That's 3 points for the regulation win, 2 points for a shootout or overtime win, and 1 point for a shootout or overtime loss. It was the shootout loss that got Fort Wayne to this match, as for the first time ever, somebody pushed the Chicago Mustangs all the way through overtime, and we got a shootout for the first time in WMLIS history. And now these Chicago Mustangs have to fight for their undefeated lives. But that's kind of really all that matters, is that they already know who they're going to be playing. They're going to be taking on Phoenix over in Las Vegas for championship weekend on March the 28th. That's the only matchup that's been completely set in this one on the WMLIS side for the playoffs. Natalia Lima kicking off, and we are underway for half number 2. Carmen Swigard in the blue kit for the Fort Wayne side. And there's a great look at the new goalkeeper for Chicago. They go with Eva Garcia. Garcia registered just over 40 minutes played with this team last season as a rotational piece, and now called on in the second half, taking over for HD Cruz for Chicago. Not a performance-based thing, probably just wanting to get a look at both keepers for the future of the club. Stephanie Nunez has 2 out of those 3 Chicago scores. Nunez got Fort Wayne at the 8:10 mark, as well as the 3:42 mark of that second quarter. No score until that 8:10 mark with the Nunez goal. Shots sit 9-8. Fort Wayne actually in the lead in that category right now, which they haven't typically found themselves in on the year, and that has been one of the reasons why their goalkeeper, Carmen Swigard, has led the league in saves this season. Swigard's got 4 more saves for her right now. And it's interesting, too. HD Cruz is coming by us right now in the bench area. Had a heavy tape job on her hand, and I think she said she really needs the trainer as well. Mason Lowenstein, that Fort Wayne trainer, is going to take a look at her. As well as, we already told you, Shannon Walter has a heavy wrap on her knee, and she had to go and see the trainer early in the first quarter. And so it's a more and more short-handed Chicago lineup all the time here. Fort Wayne, they've had a strong 13, and this has been kind of the 13-ish that they've wanted and have stuck with for quite a while. The turn, it's scored! Permanent! Long balls just create the pressure, and it keeps piling up. Sometimes you'll make diamonds out of them. Permanent's equalizer, 13-17, third quarter. Every single goal Vivian Permanent scored with this club has been huge in some way or another. Vivian Permanent, 7 scores on the season. Already chipped in an assist to make it double-digit points for her in just 5 matches. Now on the other side, Swigard had to flop on that quick as Jessica Mursky was staring her down. Could have been Mursky's first of the season. Mursky was a key piece of that championship run last season as well. Capable of playing goalkeeper, however, will also find herself often on the back line. Mursky has chipped in a couple of assists so far on this season. The battle down in the furthest right corner from us. Some of our off-field officials are going to be leaning out, as well as our players going to be leaning out probably a little bit far for us to see. We got a whistle for what we presume was a Chicago foul. Our apologies. Looks like it was on 11, Kaylee Castellanos. 3-3 match. The first goal coming out of that second half. We're giving another assist to the keeper, Carmen Swigard. That's her 5th on the season. That's insane. Swigard's going to have to look like, hey, am I towards the top of the leaders? By far the leader among goalkeepers in assists. That's a great problem to have. 13-17, third quarter. Permian from Swigard. Stoltzfus topped it. And so that's an easy pickup for Eva Garcia. 8.3 goal average for Chicago coming in. a goal differential of plus 43. So, you can do the math there that through 9 regular season matches that they've played so far, talking almost an average of 5 a game that they've won by. Really feels like a different story in this one. Yes, of course, the logistics are difficult. Yes, of course, not the roster that they wanted to play, and now you've got HD Cruz is banged up, Shannon Walter is banged up. Walter, the all-time leader in assists, and Cruz is kind of a newer insert into even the goalkeeping rotation, but everybody in this goalkeeping rotation has been really solid for Chicago. For what it's worth, as we come back here for the third quarter, we will mention once again, Chicago's got the black kits with the neon numbers and the purple sleeves. Fort Wayne has the purple and white striped kit. The goalkeeper, Carmen Swigard, in the blue for Fort Wayne, and then Ava Garcia in the neon. Walter has checked back on. Again, a big old wrap and tape on her knee, and she just knows. She said, yeah, I'm not feeling quite right. Walter taps Mariela Villalba out real quickly. Villalba has scored her first goal of the season in this one. That was at the 7:48 mark from Kaylee Kowal. And it was 22 seconds after the first Nunez score. It was like, oh boy, here they go again. The Chicago side just does that. Kind of lulls you into that false sense of security and then explodes on you. Rodas Nichols, a big collision with Villalba. Villalba's on the deck a whole lot longer, and let's see who finally gets whistled. We speculate it might be her, but she's going to need some help too, and so that's all unfortunate. Chicago State University was Villalba's collegiate experience. So she was a 4-year contributor there. Villalba is called for the foul. This is lofted down into the area of Weisman. There's nobody else there for Fort Wayne and Carol Soto. We're glad to see Soto back up. When Fort Wayne did make that run with Ortega and Ali Rodas Nichols and get that equalizer before the half with 1:45, we thought, yeah, that's all well and good. Shot. Nunez, saved by Swigard. We thought it's all well and good. However, you hate to get it that way, that it would be with a player down when you didn't have an injury stoppage, and our referees probably weren't really able to see that Soto was down. Reyes, too long of a run, couldn't quite get there. After Nunez's last shot on goal, we've got Carmen Swigard unofficially with 5 saves. Just tacking on to her league lead this season and all time. Villalba getting the change. Mursky coming on. Wow, that's a long substitution for Chicago. They're finally sending another on. Thankfully, it was a defender, Cassie Rodriguez. Again, Rodriguez is a new insert into the lineup today for Chicago. That was just all about logistics and them having to travel all the way. This interception, Weisman puts it just wide. Having to travel all the way here, some of them last night, some of them even early this morning, to get all the way over here to the Plex. 9 minutes to play, third quarter. 3-all. Chicago without Kelly Collins, their leading scorer. Collins has 17 goals on the season and was unable to make the trip. They've got a still banged up Shannon Walter. Walter with 11 goals and tied for first in the league in assists with a dozen. Walter's 23 points are good enough for third overall in the league as well. Lima has her hip hooked a little bit by Rodriguez, tried to just shove it in at the keeper Garcia. Jessica Mursky would probably be the emergency keeper option or the third goalkeeper. Swigard taking the shot. Oh, it almost came off of Thomas. It either would have been a goal, her very first one, or an assist down if Thomas could have maybe gotten, the header on it somehow to direct it into the goal. And at some point, one gets the feeling it's going to become Carmen Swigard's match to win or lose to a degree. Shot, top bin, booyah! A scorcher from Lena Thomas. And Fort Wayne goes ahead at 7:49, and that'll take us to the media timeout. A good time to take it, too. 4-3, the home side leads here on MLIS Pro TV.
hope that didn't hook up on there.
If you did, it'll be okay.
Time off.
Everything's hot. Always assume that.
All right, so that's 3 out of 4 media timeouts for regulation. That's 2.5 full quarters, and it's 7:49 to play here for the third quarter. After the fourth, Fort Wayne score the second one for Lena Thomas. We're hearing Thomas unassisted. We got a chance to talk to our referee crew at the break. As tight as it is here at the Plex on the benches, we probably wouldn't have any choice to avoid talking to them, whether we would like to or not. But they're good gentlemen, and we appreciate their help and their efforts. 3 in a row have this Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels team. Kim Ortega, Vivian Perman, and then Lena Thomas. Thomas is mugged there by Soto as she takes it away. Nunez, dangerous as ever. Soto, and the tap in. Villalba, save for Swigard. All the world, like somebody with that kind of 3-on-2 was going to be able to put it in. Thomas, she's got the room. She's stuffed by Garcia. Ava Garcia in a really tough time to be called on. Whistle, and it looks like the foul, just a common foul this time on Soto. We've seen one card that was on a newcomer for Chicago, Jaden Trometer. Fort Wayne needing to get a sub on, and Summer has to go all the way back to the keeper because I think she's saying, well, we didn't have everybody on that we needed. Swigard, Stoltzfus, Summer in that back row. Swigard keeps sending it long, and if it's going to work out and you're going to get assists off it, you just got to continue. Weisman checked. Good vision for Yayas Masias to cut this off. Jen Reyes shoots wide. Stoltzfus nearly got the nutmeg on the keeper, but that angle was tough. Plunked just to the left of the goal frame. Stoltzfus back for the goalkeeper. Your defending goalkeeper of the year. Look at the back heel for Reyes. Now Lima from the doorstep. Puts it in, and it's a 2-goal lead. Natalia Lima from Jennifer Reyes. 5 minutes and 57 seconds, third quarter. And this is as big of a deficit as the Chicago Mustangs are ever accustomed to seeing. That's the thing you got to remember about this club. Undefeated all time, folks. We don't want to say too much more about it for those who are superstitious or even a little bit stitious. Just again, we want to tell you that Fort Wayne knows what they're playing for. And Chicago knows, yeah, well, our only real chance that we can do here is spoil them and their chance at Las Vegas. Garcia, as Rodas Nichols maybe got chipped a little from behind, but does send that shot well high. (5-3) Fort Wayne. Mursky puts this right over that Fort Wayne bench. Heads up, everybody. All of our essential bench personnel begin to scatter, and then you learn who's really considered essential or not by the way that they get out of the way, or they kind of just take it and do a little duck and then get right back up into view. Swigard, the keeper, up for Layla Moj to Haiti. Lima from Reyes, 5:57, third quarter. It's a 4-goal run for Fort Wayne now. Swigard, another long ball comes. Kept it in play, too. Stoltzfus and Soto. Little collision. Now Mursky. Mursky laid it up to her left. Jaden Trometer. Trometer with the very, very flashy. I'm not sure if it's a red or an orange boot, but it's impossible to miss. Probably jumps off of your camera frame even. All the way back for the keeper. Chicago line change. I believe they went 3 for 3. Soto up for Stephanie Freund, your defending defensive player of the year. We tried to mention it a little bit more in the late part of the first quarter, but it is an embarrassment of riches for Chicago. Nunez's shot blocked off of Stoltzfus, and it's still in play for a moment. Now the keeper, Swigard, can pick it up. So you got defending defensive player of the year. We knew that. You have the reigning MVP, Stephanie Nunez. You have Kelly Collins, as well as the goalkeeper from last season, Elizabeth Sampras, now Elizabeth Rubino, who were both all conference or all league selections, rather. Weisman's turn stuffed by Yayas Macias. You have just almost the entire returning goon squad from last season that went undefeated. It's a good back roll. Nunez for Soto. And cleared off of the goal line for Stoltzfus. Swigard watching this all play out in front of her. Holds up the hands. You know, sometimes kind of likes to feel that goal frame and physically know where she's at. Rodas Nichols looking for a change. They go on for Lima. Lima's wide open here. Sent down. She'll chest touch. Got Lena Thomas, the running mate. Lima wanted to do it herself, and then she falls, and maybe once more the turf monster got her, and so she pats that turf oh so softly and says, I'm not thrilled with that. Whistle, and now we're hearing that the goalkeeper's clearance is, or her distribution rather, is going to be the area of issue. Our off-field officials kind of knew it. Our on-field officials really knew it, and they go get the explanation. I think it's going to be one warning first. All right. So now Garcia, the keeper, can bowl it out. That's the thing. You got to throw it out instead of, I think they're saying that Garcia was placing it down and then goal kicking it away without receiving a pass from a defensive player. Oh, the steal permanent. Whiffed on the first try. Thomas still possesses. Thomas puts it in back post. And they're doubling them up right now. And Chicago is going to need a timeout. 2 minutes and 21 seconds. It's Lena Thomas with a hat trick. The wheels might be coming off for Chicago. Just feel it, folks, and sit in it for a moment. Timeout here on MLIS Pro TV. And we come back out of that Chicago timeout. Our referee crew was clear to say, too, hey, that is their final one. They take it trailing 6-3, and the situation is more dire for them than it's ever been. Through 2 full regular seasons now, this club finally, for once, has to start thinking, oh no. And, you know, maybe at some point pull the goalkeeper for a 6th attacker and maybe do some of those desperate things that you've just got to do. Ava Garcia, so far in goal, is probably on hook as the keeper of record, as HD Cruz came out and departed with the lead 3-2 at the half. So Garcia would be in line for the first loss in the club's history, as it were. Kowal up ahead for Jessica Mursky. Or Chicago could completely flip this around and just do what they do and what they've expected themselves to do. Between all of, again, this goon squad, we're finally going to get the handball whistled on Lima. You can see 9 Trometer throwing up her hand immediately. And sometimes you sell it on that attacking side that, oh, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That was off my chest or something. But does appear to be the right call. Foul on Lima. Swigard picking this up on a slow roll out. Now she should be the one in no hurry. Swigard going long again for Lima, seeing what kind of magic she can create. Lima, back heel. And Ava Garcia is on it. Garcia, 17 years of age. We're going to talk about a tough spot to be called on. Asked to protect the 3-2 lead at first, and then now, as you stare at the 4-goal run against you, you start to think, wow, this game, or pardon us now, a 5-goal run, you think this game really turned quickly, and it's going to be in the back of our mind that, oh, at half we did have this lead, now it's been relinquished. Summer tied up with Kowal. Summer's turn blocked. Trometer. Lima to go outward for Buert. Buert back for the keeper, Carmen Swigard. Swigard up to her left. Buert again. Villalva staring down intently as the on-ball defender. Summer launching it in. Buert shot blasted. Not quite with her left. We got 4.8 seconds to play. That's all for the quarter. Keeper Garcia in a place where she can't really get hurt there. Throws it in. You didn't get much of a touch to start that clock, but still it works for us. That final 4.8 seconds runs off, but a dominant quarter for the Fort Wayne Summit City Sentinels. They score 4 times. Permanent, Thomas, Lima, Thomas again. And it's a 6-3 match heading to the fourth quarter in a moment. You're watching WMLIS on MLIS Pro TV. Mine just popped up as oh, I was like, what? You can just do edit and then delete it. Not delete the whole goal, but just take that out. I was like, I don't think that. I said, I don't think so. Maybe I missed something. Here's the thing, though. She registered as a player. Like, she can play whatever she wants.
Yeah, she's totally good.
I know.
And, she should be a keeper.
And Carmen said that she wants to play field at some point.
Yeah, she's a pretty good field player.
Not that this is the time to do it.
No, not today. Maybe when we play Kalamazoo for 10 times in a row. Could have let her try.
But I don't know if it's 6 or more with under like 5 minutes, maybe.
Let's go, ladies.
And we come back for quarter number 4. You're watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. Live from the Plex North here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Summit City Sentinels, the home side, leading 6-3, and boy, they got a real chance. Got to win in regulation in this one. They already know it. So it's probably going to come down to that goalkeeper, Carmen Swigard, the all-time leader in saves, and this explosive Chicago attack. Mariela Villalba, 4 in the black for Chicago. And we kick it off. Stephanie Freund. Freund has put a couple of those on target immediately off the kickoff. You got to be wary of her. Did that, in fact, on Sunday in the last matchup between these two teams. Six to 3 lead with the long goal scoring run. Ever since a minute and 45 of the second quarter, Ortega from Rodas Nichols. It's been all Fort Wayne everything. A 4-0 scoring advantage in that third quarter. Mo Shahedi is trucked right over, and that will bring a foul on Yeyas Macias. Wow, you just saw the physical edge, though, that Macias has. It was, she made a statement with that takedown. In wrestling, I believe that's 2 points for that takedown. Macias has played with the Chicago Sockers FC, as has her teammate, Mariela Villalba. She's also played semi-professionally with the Crystal Lake Force and played in college at Judson. It's an almost completely Illinois-based lineup today. Macias is rejected there by Reyes. And an almost fully Illinois constructed lineup overall when they're at their fullest strength. We mentioned that they brought 13 today, and we had heard that maybe as many as 16 were going to make the trip, and then they show up, and well, now you have your goalkeeper Cruz, as Nunez puts this just a little bit high of Swigard. You have your goalkeeper HD Cruz that started this one, and she's been out. Again, we speculate that it is partly injury related. Maybe at some point if they have to make a turn back to her and get Ava Garcia out, they could. Shot high. Macias. Macias going back for Stephanie Freund here. So Chicago, now as we're realizing it, they do mark 2 captains today. Both with the yellow armbands, being Shannon Walter and Stephanie Freund. That was the other injury that we kind of wanted to remark on. You say injury, maybe that's a strong word, but Walter has really been having trouble when she gets out there, as she's got a big old wrap on kind of the right knee and hamstring, and has been in some pain. Moj Shahedi over to her left, the keeper, Swigard. And now Moj Shahedi in the attacking end. Swigard crossing beyond the half again. One of only a few things that she's never done this league is score a goal. It's always something to think about if she wants to line up and let one loose. No, she has a monstrous leg. Rodas Nichols wants to back her way in and then just took a stab at it. Ava Garcia. Garcia. And now Nunez can't get the control as Jen Reyes knocked it away. Soto for Kaylee Kowal. Now Soto comes off and Jaden Trometer comes on. Trometer and Cassie Rodriguez making their debuts with the club. Reyes got options. Lena Thomas is always a good one. Just came up a little bit short. Right in front of the keeper, Ava Garcia. This is going to be the defensive clearance call for Ariana Stoltzfus. So again, you get the attacking player, or the attacking team rather, getting a free kick at the top of the arc. Fort Wayne's wall was set. Nunez still blasted one around it. Kowal missed wide. It took a moment for that wall to get lined up defensively, and we thought, wow, are they down a player or something? No, they were just kind of scrambling to get it lined up. Swigard with the eyes ahead. Off of the head of Soto. Let's see, did that hit any piece of the net? When that hits the net, you do get a restart. I think that's what we've got here. So it's known as a superstructure violation. Permanent took a stab, just not quite there. Lima's lurking too, down low, and can screen off any goalkeeper, let alone one where she has that kind of size advantage that she does over Ava Garcia. That's one of the biggest things about Carmen Swigard, probably, that's most difficult for opponents, and why she's just been shutting down so many teams and just made the single season or the single game save record with 33 of them on Sunday versus this same Chicago side is really kind of impossible to screen her off. One of her top hobbies when she's not out here on the pitch, bodybuilding. Permanent save by Garcia. Physical presence for Swigart in goal is intimidating, and the 3-goal lead to have to try and face against her even more so. Thomas's shot, it's got Castellanos, and Castellanos has got an issue. She's down. She's holding the left knee. Oh no. And the injury timeout is going to bring that Chicago substitution on. They're going to go and get Soto for the midfield and Kaylee Castellanos. One of your big contributors from last season's championship team and a returner for this year who has been more sparingly used in the lineup this time is down and going to need some help. Take a brief injury stoppage and be back with you in a moment as they attend to Castellanos. So our officials have taken care of this as quickly as they could. And Kaylee Castellanos is going to be able to make her way off. Not easily, we should note, but will do so. Castellanos' score on the season, the one that she's had, ironically, is this one. It's this matchup in the season opener on January the 17th against the Sentinels, but that was match played in Chicago. Again, as you mentioned, had been deployed more sparingly this season. This was her 4th match played. She is eligible to make that postseason trip. You got to play in 3 matches in the regular season out of 10 to be eligible, and Castellanos does hit that threshold. Trainer Mason Lowenstein is going to take another look at Kaylee Castellanos, though. Still struggling with the left knee. And bodies are getting shorter and shorter out there. Lima for Lena. Thomas, one little mistouch. Now gets some sick handles and sticks with it. Over to Buert. Buert lining it up. Pass now intercepted by your defending defensive player of the year, Stephanie Freund. And over to the MVP, most valuable player, Stephanie Nunez, too. Soto shot. Nunez, follow, wide! And I would have given anything to known what Nunez just shouted right there. And is she frustrated at herself or something or someone else? Shot from quite a ways. The worm burner by Soto is saved. Not a lot of bodies available on either side, but Chicago's maybe now down to, you could argue, 10 healthy players. This is kind of what Kalamazoo showed up with back on March the 8th. That game played at the Classic City Center, a home game for this Fort Wayne side, and Swigert stuffing this first attempt. Villalba out for Soto, and Thomas will knock it away. But it was one of those same things where Kalamazoo had just lost one of their top players, Sarah Bruns. Bruns, a first-team All-WMLIS selection last season, to a broken collarbone, and they're looking around like, wow, we traveled with 10 today. This is all we got, but it's all we need. And then that ended up being a 9-8 match. We got the Fort Wayne timeout. We're just hearing it. We didn't hear it called, or didn't hear them signal that they wanted for it at first. But now as it comes, it's 8 minutes and 49 seconds to play. And it's still a 6-3 contest. Fort Wayne looking to hold on, survive, and get to Las Vegas.
Any deflection of a shot that would have gone in without the goal, they're off of the goalie. So again, you have to delete that and then add at that same 1320 a safe shooter with the 29. Oh my God, this is impossible. Thank you, but you can't.
And we are back out of the Fort Wayne timeout. So sorry, we're fumbling with the headset, and there's only so many hands on any of us. If only one could be an octopus for a day, this would be a fantastic day for yours truly to do so. Don't you worry about it. 8 minutes and 49 seconds to play at that timeout taken. Still a 6-3 contest. Fort Wayne's own Summit City Sentinels nearly put another one up on the board. And these Chicago Mustangs, once again, facing the most dire situation that they ever have here in 2 years in the league. Weisman and Rodas Nichols puts up the hand saying, sorry, that's probably on me. Probably should have found a way to get some possession in the box there. Wow, here's Castellanos. She's already back out there. That is an incredibly tough decision for her to come back out and say, hey, I know what's on the line here, and I know that we've never lost, and we have that expectation of ourselves that we show up no matter where we've got to play, no matter what time, and we should dominate. Castellanos bluffing, too. Goes with her left. Soto blocked off of Moj Tahiti. Castellanos up for Cassie Rodriguez. And they're saying, yeah, we got to go all the way back for the goalkeeper here and take a moment to get a change on. They go with Yeyas Macias. And now two more on are Nunez and Soto in the midfield. Lots of moving pieces, even with only roughly 10-ish Chicago Mustangs healthy. It's just what it's got to be to still give yourself the best chance at having some fresh legs. We're under 8 minutes, so we will have our final media timeout coming in a few. Nunez off of Moj Tahiti, blocked. Soto, somebody probably got a piece of that as well. Longest scoring drought in the history of this club in WMLIS, the Chicago Mustangs. Their last score, 3:42, second quarter. Nunez from the goalkeeper for the first half, Cruz. It's been Ava Garcia in since halftime. Shot, save, Swigard on Stephanie Freund. Under 6.5. Nunez with the great defensive play there to take it away from Alyssa Weisman. Stephanie Nunez, you might imagine, right? She's the defending MVP, and she loves scoring goals and creating for her team. She loves set plays and all that. But an underrated defender, too. Let way high. And that's how you become a most valuable player. You got to do a little bit of everything on every end in every facet of the game. Nunez probably going to be called on if this game starts to really tighten up and have a big part in it. Final media timeout. We don't want to jinx it. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but it appears to be the final media timeout of the regular season for the 2026 Women's Major League Indoor Soccer season. Let's take a break and be back with you in just a few.
Like Marshawn Lynch and his sign.
Seriously, won't get fined.
And we are back out of what looks like it's going to be the final media timeout for the 2026 WMLIS season. Tanner White, so glad to be with you. Live from the Plex North here in Fort Wayne, Indiana for the first time, hosting a women's Major League indoor soccer match. And how good has this place been packed? How good's this crowd been? How good's this match been? And this home side looks like they got a chance to get to Vegas. You got to win in regulation, so you cannot forget about that, and you cannot in any way relax. But they lead here by 3. Reyes has flipped a couple of nasty back heels, including one that became an assist to Natalia Lima down on the low block, and is now battling here with Macias. Thomas is trying to shake her way loose of Macias, too. She's an absolute bulldog, is Yayas Macias. One of those newcomers for this season that everybody just kind of from the moment that she got inserted in the lineup knew, man, she's going to make a big impact. Mariela Villalba. Villalba over to her right for Freund. Where's the firepower come from when there's no Shannon Walter on that pitch? When there's no Kelly Collins? You got to find it. Nobody's going to feel bad for you at this point in the season, despite the nightmare of logistics with the 8 a.m. kickoff and having to travel from Chicago area. Many of them from the roughly Chicagoland area on this Mustangs side. Swigard down to Lima. How often have we said that? Lima for Lena Thomas. Thomas, save for Garcia. Buert, header, she scores! And that just might be the backbreaker. That's Buert's 3rd score with this club, and none bigger than right now. It's 7-3. Sentinels have defended home turf. We speculate that there's a real good chance this could be their home turf for next season, and looks like there's no reason for it not to be. A 6-goal run. Ortega, Permian, Thomas, Lima, Thomas, and Buert. Buert, a 23-year-old Warsaw, Indiana native, has plenty of experience around here. Played for Fort Wayne United as well as FC Pride of the ECNL. It's fascinating what Buert told us that her goals early on in the season were. She said, we'd like to see everybody reading each other well on the pitch and using their past mistakes to learn and improve. You want to talk about learning and improvement? You want to talk about a team that had never beaten Chicago before, and the deficit just each and every time that they match up getting smaller and smaller. The season opener, 9-2 in favor of Chicago. Next time, 10-5. You started to say, wow, okay, that Fort Wayne side was making some noise. And at one point in the 4th quarter, that game was 4-4. The next one goes all the way to a shootout. And now this one, it looks like for the very first time, the Chicago Mustangs are going down. Drometer. Up to the left. Castellanos, now Mursky with Ortega, the soft back touch. And really, Fort Wayne can afford to spend as much time in their defensive end as they feel like. Under 3.5. Garcia, she's on it here, and we're hearing that Chicago plans to pull their goalkeeper soon. They've got options on the 2nd attacker, or the 6th attacker, really. That's going to be marked by a blue penny. When Chicago does make that change, we'll tell you all about it and try and determine who it is. As long as that penny is, got enough holes in it, the holes are big enough, we can probably see the number too. Kowal challenging Moj Tahiti. Castellanos off of Ortega, get it out of here. Ava Garcia thrust into this role starting the second half over HD Cruz. Cruz probably wasn't necessarily expecting to get to this point in the season and have to take over for Joanna Mercado. Mercado had been fantastic. Mercado had 5 wins and putting up, nearly some of the best totals in the league. 3rd in save percentage at 750, 2nd in the league in wins with 5. Kelly Collins not making the trip as she was third in the league in goals scored. That makes it difficult. Stoltzfus off of Freund. Kelly Flores, that's probably an X factor that we haven't even mentioned in this one. We did want to say that, hey, we're still thinking of Kelly Flores and that knee injury that she suffered on Sunday, and we hope she's okay. Nunez coming back down the other way. Swigard got a piece, but Stephanie Nunez inevitable as ever with a hat trick. Nunez from Cassie Rodriguez at 2 minutes and 11 seconds. 7-4 is your score. Nunez with the same old tricks. That's her first hat trick of 2026. Give Nunez 11 scores overall on the season. Permanent to Thomas. Somebody's looking for that punctuation mark. There is that extra attacker. Shot blocked there by Soto from Reyes. That extra attacker now marked by the blue penny. Appears to be, well, let's see if we can sort it out in a moment. I think it's Kaylee Kowal right now. Permanent was down on the turf for a moment. Nunez. Kaylee Kowal is a little bit hesitant as Coach Alex Pavone saying, hey, you got to come and play higher and higher. We cannot afford to let any time drip off without scoring a goal here. 1 minute and 15 seconds to play. 7-4 match. Undefeated all time, these Chicago Mustangs, yes. But now, looks like for once, a blemish on the record's coming. Permanent could have the empty netter. Permanent went nutmeg at first, missed it. Permanent tripped up. And on the rebound, Thomas, I think her shot came after the whistle. Now, when a player comes in and they don that penny and they are that sort of sixth attacker, but they're in that goalkeeper's area, they still get goalkeeper protections. Let's see how this all sorts out. We thought we wouldn't be shocked at all if it were just a simple foul on Permanent. Trometer is getting tapped out here, and Kaylee Castellanos is on. Again, a gutsy performance for Castellanos. After going down with injury, spent maybe a minute and change of field time off, and now we're under a minute. Down to 45 seconds even. Nunez's turn, blocked. Reyes. That's your season and your all-time leader in block shots, Jennifer Reyes. Soto. Bang! They will not go gently. At 21.1 seconds, 7-5. Chicago with no timeouts. That hurts a little. Fort Wayne taking that time to get the guaranteed substitution. It's a full court press, if you will, for these Chicago Mustangs. Permanent out for Reyes. Reyes, good ball movement. Thomas once more. Good night, Fort Wayne. That's 4 goals for Lena Thomas in the biggest match perhaps of her life. And so this game got a little wonky at the end. The numbers got a little bit crooked. It's 8-5. Been decided, folks. The New Jersey Angels Football Club will miss out on the postseason, and Fort Wayne's Summit City Sentinels will head there next weekend. That's the final horn, and welcome to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, Fort Wayne. This club was facing an all-time undefeated Chicago Mustangs team that had dominated the rivalry. They knew that. Everybody else knew it too. They said, what's it matter? What's it matter besides this match in front of us because they got to the shootout? They extended the season to get it all the way to today by ever getting to that shootout. And now they're going. New Jersey's not for the postseason. Chicago's first loss all time here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, and it comes at the Plex here in Fort Wayne. Folks, chills. Lena Thomas with that final exclamation mark from Jennifer Reyes at 9 seconds or so. Fernanda Soto from Stephanie Freund was the final Chicago score at 19 seconds. We'll give a brief scoring summary. We'll get you out of here. The shots are 17 to 16 in favor of Fort Wayne. Carmen Swigard and Honey Days Cruz were your goalkeepers to start this one. Cruz finishing with the 9 saves overall. Ava Garcia splitting that second half. Garcia will be the keeper of record. Carmen Swigard adding 10 more saves plus an assist onto her ledger for the season as well as the win. That'll move her up into second place all time in wins here in Women's Major League Indoor Soccer. Plus, 5 total assists on the season from a goalkeeper is just insane, and she will lead all goalkeepers in assists on the season. Lena Thomas with 4 goals. Thomas's career high and a huge time to have it. Jennifer Reyes 2 assists. The other scorers go Permanen, Ortega, Lima, and Brenna Buert. As we wrap it all up, we got to tell you, folks, that this is the final match of Women's Major League Indoor Soccer, but it is not the final match of the MLIS season. Still one to play. That's 6:30 p.m. in Toronto as Pittsburgh's Bridge City FC will travel over there, and that will wrap up the MLIS season. But for the 2026 season, you've been watching Women's Major League Indoor Soccer on MLIS Pro TV. Tanner White from the Plex North here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thanks so much for joining us.
And a couple things I wanted to note. So today is switched up.